How nice it is to be finally reviewing a car again. Seems like all I review is crossovers, trucklets, trucks, SUVs. I mean, those are the market trends, but it's just refreshing to be driving a car again. The Buick Regal is arguably my favorite Buick to drive. It's the sportiest, it's the most Euro, and now that it's got this turbo 2-liter as the main engine, combined with all-wheel drive, it's a ton of fun. I'm Greg Kavanaugh with the Gallup Journey magazine. Stick around for a few minutes as I sit in the car with the seat heaters on and tell you a little bit about it. You'll have to forgive the mess. We had a snowstorm come through, and of course that foiled my plans for this test drive. So I adapted, made some changes, and here I am. This is also one of the few test drives you'll actually see me do with no sunglasses. Hey, here's my eyes. This is what I look like. Now, I've driven the Verano, the Regal, and the LaCrosse, and they're all very nice cars, very pleasant to drive. But I have to say, of those three, I think I like the Regal the best. It's the most sporty, it's the most fun, and frankly, for so many people, it's really a great size. Kind of a smallish mid-size. It's not as big as, say, a Camry and Accord or something like that. You look at the comparisons online and on Buick's website, and it compares it with the TSX and also the A4. And the A4 is slightly bigger, but it's a nice size. And Buick has done a good job to make this a sporty car. The interior of the Buick is really their forte. And the Regal is no different than any other Buick. Well-styled, classy. I just generally like them. This Regal has a very sharp, like 4-inch screen in between two very also nice gauges with just a really classy font and fine detail that it really looks nice and upscale. You got the IntelliLink system here in the middle, 8-inch screen. I like the IntelliLink. You know, I generally don't have problems with infotainment systems, and people complain about different ones, but you know, I think the IntelliLink is just as good as some of the others out there. The voice activation isn't quite as good as, say, the Sync, in my opinion, but you know, I don't have a problem with it. Satellite, rear view camera, everything's there. It works great. Some redundant buttons here make it very easy to use. Now, the Regal has touch screen controls or touch sensitive, I don't even know what they are, they're not screens, touch controls for the climate control, for the dual climate zone, for the temperature and the seat heater. So you just touch it and there it is. Now, I don't know if this is even better than buttons, but it looks cool and seems kind of techy. I like that about it. The general fit and feel is nice. It's got this kind of carbon fiber. I don't know if it's actual carbon fiber. It's more of a carbon fiber look for the trim, but it's cool. Looks good. Not a ton of storage here in the middle. If you watched my review on the Escape and also the Ford Focus ST, same kind of problem, just some small cubbies with not a ton of storage here under the armrest. So I'm going to go ahead and complain about that again, although there is a spot that fits my cell phone pretty nicely. Of course, you have storage in the doors, but yeah, this car is not a car for a family of 5. Let's get that out in the open right now. It's more for, I would say, a couple with no kids or a couple with kids that aren't in the house anymore. The back seat is plenty usable, but it's not particularly huge. So littler kids or, you know, a second set of adults when you're going out to dinner or something is fine. But definitely as like a personal mode of transportation, the Regal is pretty sweet. I'm getting on the highway here so I can highlight the strength of the Buick Regal, and that is its turbocharged engine. At 259 horsepower, I think it is, and 295 pound-feet of torque, almost 300 pound-feet of torque. I don't know if you saw that. It threw me right back in my seat, and it just yanks you wherever you want to go. Now, you know, the whole vehicle is not some sort of absolute rocket ship, but, you know, very quickly I'm at 70 miles an hour right here, and I had to lift off, and that was not even to the floor. It just does what you need it to do. Now with the all-wheel drive, it gives you, and 6-speed automatic, it gives you great control, great handling, great traction. Of course, you do pay for that a little bit of fuel economy at 21, 27, 22 combined, but it does make sense and really gives this Regal a fun and sporting character. The handling on the Buick is a ton of fun. It's very taut, very sporty, very Euro, and kind of defines the character of the car and makes it fun to drive. I mean, really, you get in this car and you kind of smile because it's fun to drive. It's not merely an appliance. And the Buick Regal has that going for it. I hope that more people come to learn that Buick is no longer this, old man's car with this floaty ride that's designed simply for comfort. But in fact, it's something that appeals to a much younger buyer, and I think more younger buyers are seeing the Buick as an alternative to the mainstream vehicles of the luxury vehicles that are kind of expected, and they want something a little bit different, and they know the Buick represents a good choice. At $33,000 as tested, I have to say, when I first saw that number, I thought it was actually quite a steal. I'm so used to driving now these expensive trucks, and I drove a $60,000 Sequoia, so $33,000 seems like quite the bargain considering all the amenities and that luxury that you get with the Buick. So at a near luxury level sedan, kind of an executive saloon for the masses, I have to say it represents a pretty decent value. It feels up class, it feels executive, it feels exquisite and well defined and well executed. And because of that, I think this Buick presents something different to other buyers on the market, and I think people like it because of that. I have to give a shout out and a special thanks to the guys down at Rico Auto Complex, friends of mine, always good to me. They gave me this one right off the showroom floor, and it was perfectly clean. And then we got this snowstorm that hit, and now it's an absolute disaster. But nonetheless, thanks to those guys. Thanks to you guys for watching, liking, subscribing. I hope you like this one. I had a lot of fun with it. We'll see you next time.